It's time for another edition of SIRE TV, Success in Real Estate, with your host, Robert Burke. Join Robert and his guests, some of the country's leading experts on real estate investing, as they show you how you can purchase properties tens of thousands of dollars below true market value. So whether you are looking for your personal dream house, a fantastic rental property, or you want to buy, fix up, and resell for profit, this is the show for you. Robert will also share his amazing networks of lenders who are loaning on real estate all across the country. Your financial success is just around the corner. And now, the host of the Success in Real Estate program, Robert Burke.
Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the SIRE TV program. We're going to kind of continue what we were talking about last week about some of the differences of passively investing in real estate and aggressively investing in real estate. And again, by that I mean, if you're aggressive in your real estate investing, you're going out there and you're finding the deals, you're involved in the rehab and the selling of the properties, and you kind of get your hands dirty when you're out there doing it. It's a great way to do it. We spend a lot of time doing that. We're going to talk about that in the second half of our program. But in the first half, we're going to talk about more of the passive ways that you can invest in real estate. I know a lot of people out there, they don't want to miss this real estate investing benefit train that's out there that they're hearing about. And there's a way that you can do it without having to go out there and actually get your hands dirty. And so we really have one of the nation's foremost leading experts on self-directed IRAs. He was with us last week. Seems like it was just a few minutes ago. But we've got Quincy Long back from Quest IRA. Quincy, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Glad to have me.
Great to have you again. Now, last week we were talking about some of the details of a self-directed IRA. But we ran out of time, basically. There's so much.
There is a lot to talk about.
So much stuff to talk about. And Quest IRA, you guys, that's what you specialize in. And so I want to talk about a little bit more specific ways that a person can use their IRA and self-direct it to invest in real estate.
All right.
Kind of, if you were talking to somebody who wanted to do that and came to you and said, hey, look, I've seen these deals out there, I want to invest in real estate myself, or I want to help somebody, a friend of mine who's wanting to invest, I want to use my IRA to loan him money, I like the returns. What were some of the things that you would tell those people?
Well, right, and there's, as you said, with real estate, there's many different ways to invest in real estate, and just about every one of them you can do in a self-directed IRA. So the first area that you already mentioned is loaning money to maybe a rehabber or somebody who's going to buy a house, fix it up, and sell it or keep it as a rental. And that is something that is very commonly done in self-directed IRAs. And in fact, it's a really nice thing to do, because if you have a rehabber that buys a house, fixes it up, and either sells it or rents it, you're actually improving the neighborhood where the house is, and you're helping the local economy as opposed to who knows where your dollars are in a mutual fund. So loans are one way to do it. You and I were talking before the show actually about another way to invest in loans secured by real estate, and that is by existing loans that have been created with seller financing, and now they're needing some cash out, and you can buy part or all of that loan. So that covers the loan area.
I love that too, and we were talking about that because I've had a lot of experience in that, in buying and selling notes and investing in notes that have already been created. And I was going into a story about my mother. My mother was looking for, she kept coming to me complaining about, her investment account. One month it was this, and the next month it was a little bit lower, then it was up.
Right.
And that's kind of the struggle, especially when you're older, retired.
Right.
You'd rather have kind of a little bit more, it doesn't have to, you don't want the big ups, but you just want something that's nice and steady.
Right.
And what she did was she took money out of her retirement account and went and bought a property. Now, it worked out for her. It wasn't the wisest way for her to do that. No. You could have told her a better way. But she went out there and she invested in an owner-financed mortgage. And so she looked at one that had been seasoned. These people have been paying on this for several years,
right.
Good loan to value. So the risk for her to do that was very low. Now, there are some risks. But you can actually show people and tell them how they can take, using money from their IRA, and buy these types of properties and get these set type of yields.
Yes, it's a wonderful way to do it, and it's very commonly done as well. And there's, as you know, training that is out there. If you want to know how to do that, part or all of a note, you can do that.
Well, while we're talking about that training, and we talked about this last week, but with Quest IRA, our listeners can, our viewers can go to our website, and there's a link there that links them directly to you guys. We've got your website, your telephone number. They can call and talk with you guys.
Right.
You provide information like this. A lot of these training tools are basically free. I was going through this last show and going through it again. I mean, this is really on my level. This is really taking it and making it simple, which is very important. But and we're going to be focusing on more on this program too, on these owner finance notes, because I think it's a fantastic way for somebody who's looking for passive income to really make a good return. I think it's one of the, this is just my opinion, and everybody do your own due diligence, but it's one of the least risky ways to invest in real estate and really get some pretty good returns. And that you can show them and teach them how they can, use their IRA to do this, because you guys are the experienced, you're the pros with this.
Exactly. And there's other ways to invest in real estate as well. Of course, you can buy real estate itself, and that can work out real well, even in a passive activity. So, for example, we had one of our clients who bought in his Roth IRA a property that was in the path of development, and the house was worth nothing. Basically, he was buying the land, and after 2 years he took $10,000 and turned it into $280,000.
Wow.
Just by waiting for a property that was in the path of development for the development to get there to the property. And he sold it to someone who tore the house down and put up a townhome. So that's very interesting.
Well, and there are things that you really can do, I think, that people are not aware of. There's a few things that you can't do.
That's true.
But again, that all comes with knowledge, which they're going to get from you guys. I mean, if somebody were to just come to you, let's say that I just hear this program and I'm interested in learning about it, but I don't really have a lot of knowledge. I have an IRA and I want to do something with it or look into it. Could I just come and call you guys, sit down and talk with you and get some advice from you guys of what I could do and what I couldn't do?
Absolutely. I mean, we give you education. We wouldn't want to cross the line to that advice thing, but we'll give you education. Now, it is a self-directed IRA, which means you do have to find your own investment, but we provide lots of networking opportunities for you to get with other people. We just got back from an IRA fund cruise, as we call it.
You didn't ask me to go.
Next time, January 2015, we'll be able to do that.
Sounds good.
Just lots of networking opportunities, and that's what you need to be able to do, is to network with other people to find the types of transactions. There is actually another way to invest in real estate that is a very passive way that I like also, and that's to invest in limited partnerships who in turn buy property, whether they be commercial property or not. For example, I bought one of my latest investments is I invested $100,000 out of my retirement plan into a limited partnership that bought a shopping center in Louisiana. It's being rehabbed. You can rehab a shopping center just like you can rehab a house. You just have to add some zeros to the end of the numbers, and it takes a little longer. But those are 3 ways that you can invest in real estate. And there are many others, options, wholesaling, a lot of other ways you can do it. But loans, real estate itself, and limited partnerships or funds that invest in real estate are the 3 primary ways.
So that person who's sitting there and watches a program like this and doesn't want to go out there, for whatever reason, there are 100 different reasons why somebody doesn't want to go out there and really get their hands dirty in real estate. There are a lot of ways to passively invest in real estate, but you need to know how to do it, what you can and cannot do. You need to, you need to have the proper tools, the proper training.
Right.
And that's where, and one thing you mentioned, and I want to say this because again, we're almost running out of time. You talked about having a network of people to support. That's one thing that we really preach around here.
Absolutely.
No matter what you're doing, is have people who will help you in what you're doing, and that's something Quest really does focus on, right?
Exactly, as it's been said many times, your network is your net worth.
Yeah, it is, and we talk about that with the Real Alliance and the mentoring program that they have. We talk about that we're really in being involved with SIRE TV, and the fact that our goal is to provide them provide our viewers with people like you who come on this show and talk about, it may just be one aspect of investing in real estate, but it's important, and a lot of our viewers are very interested in that. But we also have other programs for other people. Again, there's more of this. Again, they can go to our website, to SIRETV.tv, and get this type of material if you want to learn more about this. We've got the website for Quest IRA and their telephone number, people that you can contact and talk with them directly if you have questions. Feel free to do that. You know, again, Quincy, it was great to have you on here. Time flies, as always. We could go on and on and on, but we can't. But we'll have you on again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Hey, guys, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Thanks.
The SIRE TV program, brought to you in part by Appraisal Save, your half-price nationwide home appraisal service. Sherman Bridge, America's #1 rehab lender. National Real Estate Insurance Group, providing investors with the right coverage at the right time.
Welcome back, everybody. I definitely want to thank Quincy Long again from Quest IRA for being here. He was on the show last week, had so much to cover. We had to have him on this week, and to be honest with you, we only got to a little bit of that. Could probably have him on week after week. But I tell you how we solve that problem is you can go to our website, SIRETV.tv, and we've got a link there for Quest IRA. You can get their website, you can get their telephone number, and also some of the free materials, the training materials that they have, that they provide their clients and their just people who are interested in what they have on a regular basis. And again, it's great to have somebody on there who talks about the passive approach to making money in real estate. Something we're going to focus a little bit more on in the future in this show, because we've gotten so many comments from people who are interested in that. That being said, my next guest, who's been with me several times, we're going to now kind of switch that and go more towards the aggressive side of real estate investing. Matt, welcome back to the show from the Real Alliance.
Hey, thanks a lot, Robert. Glad to be here.
Great to have you here. Let's talk about, you know, why people are so afraid, especially my experience has been with real estate investors, why they don't want to spend time, spend money to continually educate or to get education. What am I trying to say here? You know what I'm trying to say? I'm not saying it very well. You know the question I want to ask. Go ahead and answer it.
Absolutely. Well, I think that it's a really good question. And people really,
I just didn't ask it very well. Okay.
It was an excellent question. And the question I'm hearing is why don't people choose to get educated in this industry? You know, why is it that someone would want to try a profession that can bring literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, if not millions of dollars a year, and yet they don't even want to invest in it? Whereas a doctor may make $200,000 or $300,000 a year, and they'll invest 12 years of their life and $60,000, $80,000 in money. And it actually does kind of baffle me at times. What I've come to the conclusion is that it has a lot to do with how we're reared, how we're raised, and we go into these environments where it's all about grades, and it's all about, did you do it right? And if not, then you failed. And when you live in that environment, you get burnt out, because that's not reality of life. You don't either fail or succeed. There's a lot of learning that goes on in the process. And so my opinion is that most people are burned out on education. And so they go instead to the abhorrence of it. And they want to just say, I don't want to get educated anymore. I know everything I have. Or they get a little cocky and they think because they've done 1 or 2 deals or 10 deals that they don't need anymore. And I actually have huge respect. We have many members that join our higher education, and you know they've already spent $16,000, $20,000, $30,000, even $60,000 on other education, and they're looking for more. And why is that? Because they understand the power of continually growing.
Well, you know, years ago I had a radio program, and from that I decided to do a training seminar, because so many people were calling in and wanting it. It wasn't really that I wanted to do it. But I did this seminar. It was like over a day and a half, put it all together. It was really fun. I loved doing it. Now, you guys do a far better job than I did. But here's one of the things that amazed me. There were 2 guys who showed up who were probably one of the top real estate investors in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And they showed up to my seminar. My seminar cost next to nothing to come to, because I was just hoping, praying people would come to it, you know? But I saw these guys, and I knew them, and I saw them in the audience. And during a break, they came up and they were asking me questions. And I said, whoa, guys, I got to ask you a question. you're successful. Why are you coming here to this program? Why are you wasting, and I said that, a day and a half of your life when you know what you're doing? And their response to me was, and it just really was amazing, kind of woke me up, was there's always more to learn. Yeah. And our fear was that maybe you're going to say something that we didn't know. And to be honest with you, in the first hour, you told me 3 things I hadn't really thought of. And today, these guys are one of the few people that I know of who are still active in making money in real estate.
Well, that's exactly the point. And it's one of the real reasons why we've created our community the way we have in our education. Is because I've written a book and we've got great information out there.
Let's show this book. Because we had this on our website. You can get it for free at $7 shipping and handling. Yeah. So let's get that in while you mentioned it.
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And so I believe in the concept of books. And that's how I started. I started reading books. But the problem is the industry is changing constantly. And if you're not abreast of what's going on today, you might be working a strategy that was in a book that was written 6 months or even a year ago. Even the latest books take 6 months to publish. So for you to actually get the information you need from a book, it's just not reasonable. If you don't have someone who is actively investing in today's market and understands what strategies you need to implement today, that's the only thing that's really applicable to you right now. Anything else is really gone to the wayside.
Why do people think that it doesn't work that way in real estate? It's amazing to me. You know, I was talking to our makeup lady before the show, Abby, a great woman, and does a great job. I mean, she makes us look halfway decent, so she's well worth it. Yeah. But I was telling her about a show that I watched on television, and it had to do with salons, and there was a lady there who had been cutting hair for 12 years, right. And this lady walked in and said, if you'll just do it this way, it's, and the lady was kind of like, who are you to tell me? But she showed her and she went, wow, that's great. Doctors, beauticians, everybody continually has this continual education that they have to go to or need to go to, but real estate investors for some reason just don't.
Well, I think once again is that once you've made a little bit of money, once you make 6 figures, you kind of start to feel like you're big stuff, and you start to think, well, I got this figured out. And what they don't realize is that what they don't know. We often don't know what we don't know, and when people spend time trying to analyze what they don't know, then they get to a place, well, who can provide? We had Quincy on here. Our team has put 150 self-directed IRAs into place for capitalization of projects that we're working on. Okay, I was on Quincy's site the other day going through another one of his trainings to listen to more of his information because, maybe there's something new that I don't know. Maybe there's something nuanced that I haven't heard of. So I'm a believer in growth, that in order to become successful, you've got to change something. And most of us think change is bad. Most of us think people can't change. I totally disagree. I've watched people totally change their life, totally change what their situation is. But it starts from changing how they think about things and how they see things.
Yeah.
So
the other thing is, there's so much to talk about here, but going along with the continual education, which I think is so important. We've kind of stressed that. But the other thing I want to talk about, because I get a lot of comments about this during the week, is about this mentoring program. Yeah. And people are always saying to me, what do I need that for? What, I want to do this. Why is that so important to somebody's success? Not only in real estate, but really in life.
Yeah, well, I think not only is it important because of the additional knowledge that you don't have access to without the mentor, but in my mind, the other key aspect is that we feel is really not found in a lot of mentoring programs, but it's the aspect of accountability. When you're an entrepreneur or when you're a employee, you got a boss and he's checking up on you. Did you do what you said you were going to do? And if you don't, then you either don't get your bonus, or you lose, you drop in pay, or you lose your job. But when you're an entrepreneur, you wake up when you want. I remember when I first quit my job and I was like, man, I can sleep until 10. This is awesome. Well, 3 weeks of that and you realize that you're not accomplishing the things that you should be accomplishing. You start, whoa, hold on, I've got to figure something out. And so one of the things that we put in place is something called Real Progression. And it's a weekly meeting where they're meeting with an expert, so someone has greater knowledge than them, but that expert is holding them accountable with their peers to what they said they would do this last week. Now, when that happens, some people don't like that, and I honestly don't love structure. I'm a free will guy. I hate putting something on my calendar because what if something else comes up? And I think there's a lot of people like that. but we have to learn there's certain disciplines that are necessary for success. And so when our students come in here and they start to hold themselves accountable, it speeds up the rate at which they can succeed. And when you speed up the rate of success, you not only get them to their first deal, but you get them to their second and third and fourth, because it's not like, man, it took me 6 months to get into my first deal. No, it took you 2 or 3. Or maybe 30 days. We have a lot of students that do in 30 days. Not all of them, but there are students that do in 30 days. So if we can speed up all of that process, and with students now doing what took me 7 years, they're doing it in 2 years. Because of accountability, you really take what you're doing to a whole nother level.
And why somebody wouldn't want to follow somebody who has succeeded in a business that they're wanting to get into, that they're wanting to succeed, makes no sense to me at all. I mean, if you're going to get into this business, follow people who have been successful, learn from them, study with them, be a mentor, or be their mentor, so eventually maybe you can mentor somebody else.
Well, that's the other beautiful thing about this that we teach, is that if they learn from a mentor, they then learn how to be a mentor. And that's one of the best ways to accelerate
It's a
the
great
business.
philosophy.
Yeah.
Again, you know, it goes by fast. Great to have you on the show again, Matt. We'll have you on here in a couple of weeks. I think you'll be back with us talking about some more things.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks a
Always
lot,
good to
Robert.
have you. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back.
The SIRE TV program, brought to you in part by New Western, America's #1 source for investment properties. The Real Alliance, leading individuals to success through real estate investing.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you being here for another edition of the SIRE TV program. I want to thank our guest on this week, Matthew Elmer from the Real Alliance, and also I want to thank our Quincy Long from Quest IRA. I love this show because we were able to kind of talk about different ways to invest, aggressively and passively. With Matthew Elmer and the Real Alliance, you have kind of the aggressive way, the way that most people think about when it comes to investing in real estate. That's getting out there, finding the properties, getting them fixed up, reselling them, hopefully making some good money with that. And we spend a lot of time on our shows dealing with that. We have our hard money lenders around the country that help you do that. That's something that's very unique about this program, is that we're not just going to focus on one way that you can make money in real estate. I say that week after week, but it's so true, it's worth repeating. If you're sitting there and you want to get out and learn how to do this business, you need to get in touch with the guys at the Real Alliance if you've not ever done real estate before, because their teaching and training is fantastic. And you know, to think that you don't need that, it really is ridiculous. And it's also, I think we made the point, I want to make it again, that if you're out there and you're making money in real estate, there are some people out there who can teach you a few things. You know, continual education is very important. A mentoring program is very important. Having somebody that you're accountable to, you know, but the fact that if you think you know it all, it's ridiculous. I learned a very important lesson in that many years ago, in the story that I told earlier in the show about some people who attended a class that I was teaching, and they were two of the most successful guys in town. And they said to me, you know, we never know when we're going to pick up something. In the first hour, we've heard 3 things that we hadn't really thought of or that we hadn't heard of before that's going to make us money when we leave here. Another example of that, my son, when he was 19 months old, got very sick. He had a genetic disorder. A metabolic disorder really is what it was called. Fortunately for us, the world-leading expert on metabolic disorders was right here in Dallas. And I got to meet this gentleman and actually became friends with him. He was a doctor in Dallas. And I remember going over and talking to him, and I mean, it was amazing. I mean, we're talking about the world-leading expert. And I called him one time, and he was on his way to a seminar. And I said, why are you going to a seminar? You're teaching it, right? And he goes, oh no, I'm going to hear some other people teach. And I said, you're considered the world's leading expert, not just in your city, not just in your nation, but the world's leading expert. And he said to me, you know, I can always learn something. And we need to remain humble, and we need to remember that. The world's leading expert out there wanting to be taught and willing to listen to other people. I know that there's not anybody listening to this show who is the world's leading expert probably in anything, much less in real estate. There are people out there that you can learn from. So be open to that and keep that in mind. That's why we have our website, basically, where you can get a book like this that Matthew has written. It's got 20 or some different authors who have each written a chapter of how they've made money and how they succeeded in tough times. Not all necessarily in real estate, but this book we provide free, just shipping and handling. We also have information from Quest IRA. Anybody who comes on our show, basically, you can go to our website and get more information about that person or that company. We have links to their website. Go there. We've got properties that are listed tens of thousands of dollars below market price. All these tools are available to you. Not just one. We're not just selling one thing. We're basically providing a lot of information about a lot of different ways. So if you're out there and you want to invest in real estate passively or aggressively, this is the show for you, because each week we're going to have guests on talking about what they are good at. And it's going to be a specific area of investing in real estate. Lots of options, lots of different opportunities for you there. Again, SIRETV.tv. We hope that you'll be with us week after week after week as we bring more guests on and talk about more topics and go into more detail. Again, thanks for being here this week. Until next week, God bless and continued success.
Thank you for watching the SIRE TV program. For more information regarding the contents of this show, please visit our website at SIRETV.tv.